Hi, everyone. My name is Venki Raju. I'm the CTO of Mobeam. We are based in Palo Alto, and we develop enabling technologies for mobile wallets. We don't actually make a wallet application ourselves. We sort of do. It's a demonstration app for the technology itself, but we really enable third-party apps. We do one thing. We actually do only one thing, but we do it really well, and you'll see what it is in the next few minutes. So completing the mobile wallet was the title, so I guess we should ask the question, is your mobile wallet really complete? I'm sure some of you are developing your own mobile wallets and have asked the same question. So let's take a look at what's in your wallet. So you have, no doubt, at least one or more of these, some credit cards, debit cards, gift cards that you may have got over Christmas, gym cards, library cards, and so on, and maybe a few coupons as well. Now, do you see anything common over here? There's a lot of barcoded things, and that's where the problem comes in. All the wallet technologies that you've probably heard of, things like NFC, MagStrap emulation, and so on, they all address the issues with credit and debit cards, but not necessarily these other things. Now, what's the problem? Right, so laser scanners that you pretty much see everywhere, at supermarkets, grocery stores, convenience stores, gyms, libraries, and so on. They all use laser scanners. These could be a handheld scanner like this one, or the giant self-checkout scans that you see in the picture over there. Now, none of these can actually scan off of a laser screen, off an LCD screen. Let's do a quick demo. If you could switch over to the camera. And the lighting here is so bright that actually I wasn't be able to get even a plastic card to scan, but so you can see that it scanned this card, so that the beep was a positive scan. And now I'm going to show nothing against this particular app here. So this is my Plenty card on Android Pay. And I can pretty much do this all day, and it's not going to scan, and I'm sure you're aware of this. All right. Now, users are not happy, obviously. Right? So here are some comments from, and users don't mince their words either. So this is a very popular 4-star wallet app. I don't want to name names here because, again, I have nothing against these apps. It's just that they don't work well everywhere. So users are frustrated. Many people have claimed that have said that they can't scan at any store. Here's another one, not jumping through hoops just to save a few cents, and especially when an app can't even have its own card scanned, that's pretty bad. And here's another very popular wallet. Again, I mean, people like the concept, but they're just finding that it just doesn't really work everywhere. So in a sense, the mobile wallet is broken. Actually, I don't need to go back to one slide just to show you why it doesn't work on LCD screens. And so just a little bit of physics here. So the way these scanners work, like this one here, is that it actually sweeps a laser beam across the surface, whether it's paper or plastic. And it looks at the reflections coming back from the barcode. So if you look at paper or plastic, you get the signal that you see in the middle there. It's this alternate red and black bands. And the circuitry in the scanner is able to decode that into something that looks like a square wave, and then it deciphers the digits from there. But if you look at an LCD screen, the glossy glass basically reflects everything, and what you see if you put a scope is just a smudge of red and black, and there's really no signal that can be decoded from here. Okay, so just fast forwarding back here. So looks like the wallet's broken, but you don't need to panic. We have a better way. So say hello to beaming. This is the core technology that Mobeam brings. What we do is we transmit the barcode directly into the scanner. So we completely bypass the whole problem of reflections not coming off of a printed barcode. If you could switch to the demo again. So here's an app that's actually using our technology. And I'll try to get a couple of demos here. So you saw that scan. And let me see if I can get, due to some network issues, I wasn't able to get Samsung Pay to work this morning, but let's see if. So this is Samsung Pay and my Toys R Us gift card. Well, it took a little while, but it did scan. And the problem there is I think it needs to get a network connection to validate the barcode. So you can see that with our technology, any existing app can actually now have its barcode scanned anywhere. Could we switch back? So how does this work? So what we do is we use a combination of hardware and software on the phone, on a smartphone, and we actually pulse out an infrared LED on the phone directly into the scanner's window. And what the pulses do is they basically make the scanner think that it's looking at a paper or a printed barcode. And actually, as you can see, the signal is obviously better than a reflection. So if you come by the booth, I can actually show you how our technology is actually faster than paper in many instances. And I have a small tabletop scanner that you'd find at a grocery store at the booth, and I can show you how it's actually faster than paper. So with this technology, we believe we complete the wallet. So going now from NFC and mag stripe all the way to barcodes that can be used anywhere. With our technology, you can basically have a wallet that works everywhere. Here are some of our partners that are using our technology. I think most of these names need no introduction. The ones on the left are actually companies that have a wallet of some type. And the two on the right, you'd probably recognize as very big consumer brands. And we're working with them on some interesting applications of barcodes for mobile coupons. And I'll talk about that briefly in the coming slide. So here's our first use case, Raise. This is a fantastic app, by the way. You can save a lot of money just buying gift cards for yourself at a discount. And if you have some gift cards from Christmas that you really don't know what to do with, it's a nice place to sell. Now, this company actually uses our SDK, and they do it with really good effect, because what they do is they display a two-dimensional barcode as well as they beam. So in a store that actually has an imaging scanner, it picks it off of the screen. If the store has a laser scanner, then it's going to pick up our beam. A good example of this is Home Depot, which is the first one there. They actually have a mix of laser and imaging. So about half the stores have laser scanners and half have imaging. And you can just imagine the plight of the clerk if they have to type out like 25 digits at the checkout, right? So with our technology, it just basically works. Here, Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay uses our SDK for gift cards. So anytime they have a barcoded gift card in the system, it automatically turns the beam on. And so basically, again, it just works everywhere for the shopper. Vodafone started using our SDK late last year, and here are some of the user comments. Again, it's a far cry from what you saw before. Now users are saying that this is the first app they've seen that basically just works. And we know in the UK there's a lot of flatbed laser scanners, and we ourselves have seen a lot of users in the UK. Last but not least, Beep and Go is our showcase and demonstration application. It is sort of a wallet in that you can get your loyalty cards and gift cards loaded. We also offer barcoded coupons, but we don't see it as a competition to any of the major wallets. But one of the things that we do with this is we try to find new applications of our technology. And here's one for digital manufacturer coupons. So the big brands, and P&G and General Mills, they spend hundreds of millions on printed coupons every year, and they want to translate all of those into mobile. But the issue is that as soon as you get something on a phone, people can just screenshot it and start sharing it, and then all their inventory controls basically go haywire. So the Joint Industry Coupon Committee, which is a sub-group under the Grocery Manufacturers Association, they have published a guideline that says that digital coupons should not utilize human-readable barcodes. And this is an interesting application for us, because now you can start doing coupons where the barcode is only beamed, and it goes directly into the grocery store's laser scanner without anything printed on the screen. So you can screenshot this, but you're not basically going to be able to get anything. So it's a way of doing secure barcodes, secure invisible barcodes. And there are some other interesting applications, such as mobile payments or tokenized payments, where you want to use the rails that already exist behind a laser scanner. So your next question is probably, so well, how do I do this? We offer an SDK for Android. It's a fairly lightweight library, a jar file that we give you. So you plug that into your app, and what the library does is it communicates with a platform-installed service. We call it the beaming service application, which then communicates with the device driver and then onto the actual hardware. So like I said, we use an infrared LED on the phone, so that's the driver for that piece of hardware. Well, I did say lightweight. It's pretty much just two classes, an entry point and a listener for callbacks. And I'll just go through some slides that show you how easy it is to implement. So in the setup, so almost any Android application or that has displays a barcode has an activity. So within that activity, somewhere in your onCreate, you could basically just insert the single line of code that initializes our SDK. And all that this does is just set up the SDK to receive beaming requests down the road. Now we have a couple of parameters here, a user ID and a Boolean, which I've set to true. The user ID is just something that you can pass into the SDK. Every time a barcode is beamed, Mobeam actually gets notified. It's part of our licensing and accounting mechanism. And if you want to do per user accounting, then you can pass in a user ID so we can tell you how many unique user IDs were used. The true or false to the next is basically whether we want to capture location. Some of our customers actually want to know when and where a beam occurred. So they want to distinguish between the user just beaming at home versus beaming at a store. So if you're OK with passing the location, then we capture that as part of this request. The next thing is priming the beaming service. And this is important because, so as I mentioned, there's hardware involved. So there's a fairly long pipeline between the application and the actual LED pulsing out. And we want to make sure that all of this is ready as soon as the barcode is actually shown on the screen. Because as soon as it's shown on screen, people are going to basically point it at the scanner, and so you don't want any delays there. This process can take anywhere from about 100 to 500 milliseconds. So we recommend that somewhere in the onStart method of your activity, you go ahead and just prime the SDK. So we offer a start method that you can call, and basically that gets everything ready. The SDK is actually intelligent in that it will actually tell you whether the device is capable of beaming or not. Not all devices have the requisite LED or the device driver, but we are on over 400 million devices. So you can actually catch that exception, and if you see that it's not working, then you just default back to the displayed barcode. And then this is the beam. So again, you're likely to have some type of a method called, say, display barcode, where what's passed in is the actual pattern, which is basically the white and black lines that you need to display on the screen. And that's exactly all we need. So what you do is you create a metadata object where you can pass in something like a campaign ID for tracking, and also the product type that you're encoding, and then specify a duration. In this example, it's 60 seconds. And then there's a single method, start beaming, where you give us the black and white pattern, and then the duration and the metadata. And that's basically it. It's just going to keep beaming the barcode until you issue a call to stop the beaming. And finally, because the SDK has connections to the underlying hardware, and we want to make sure that we release the hardware as soon as possible, we offer lifecycle methods that mirror pretty much the Android activity lifecycle. So if you're pausing your activity, then the SDK will release that connection, and when you're finally done, the SDK will close that connection. So it's pretty simple. There's also a listener class, like I mentioned, which you can use to track any kinds of errors, whether beaming was interrupted for some reason or did not start at all. Normally, these are very rare, so most developers basically just ignore these the listener callbacks. Well, that's about it. You can sign up at our developer portal for a free trial of the SDK. We mentioned 3 to 4 months, but really it's just up until you find a good value proposition. But this will let you try it out, see for yourself. We do have a dependency on the hardware. We are on every Samsung Galaxy device since the Galaxy S4. So that's the S4, 5, 6, 7, the Note 3, 4, and 5. And we are also on several HTC and Motorola handsets in terms of the hardware. And we are working with these OEMs to get the software connectivity in place so that you can now use it everywhere. So we are primarily targeting Android simply because of the wide ecosystem and the popularity. And Android users are, I guess, more techie, so they love the technology. That's about it. Thank you for your time.